Tanmay Bakshi, you're 14 years old. I would like to hear your ideas on how you think artificial intelligence will affect the human lives in the future.
Sure, definitely. Now, if you think about it, artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies are already affecting our lives in huge ways, even if you don't realize it. For example, Tesla self-driving cars are changing the way we drive every single day. Siri is changing the way you look up simple information every single day and making your life so much more efficient through so many different ways. There are so many different ways that AI is impacting our lives, and yet we don't realize it, and yet we aren't fully adapting to it. We still have these fears that it's going to replace us or overpower us. So imagine in the future when we actually start to understand that AI is not replacing us, it's not going to be overpowering us, and once we start adapting to it, introducing it to the youth in our schools, and actually getting them involved in such areas, I believe that it's going to be even greater than exponential growth. Even right now, you can see that we're sort of at the peak of our growth, and we're just really rising exponentially. If we can even rise that growth, I can only see that our lives will be impacted so much by AI that they'll become much, much more efficient. Repetitive and manual tasks will be eliminated, and we can make every single day more productive and spend more time doing things that we should be doing every single day.
Can you mention a few examples of what you think artificial intelligence will mean to like normal human beings in 10 years from now?
Yeah, sure. Now, like for example, if you think about it, artificial intelligence is already starting to come into the cancer diagnosis area. But still, it's not as widespread as, regular technology or humans doing this task. But what I believe is that, for example, in the future, once we have even better models, we can, for example, detect melanoma in such a more accurate way. In fact, even right now, within the next year or so, Watson has already started in Australia and New Zealand to detect melanoma, a type of skin cancer, really, really early, which really increases your chances of survival if you have melanoma, which is something that doctors can't do. They cannot detect melanoma that early just by looking at a picture of your skin. And there's so many more areas, like for example, self-driving cars. Right now, say in the morning, you wake up, rush hour traffic, you're driving to work, you spend an hour commuting, backwards and forward from work. So the thing is, that's a lot of traffic that you have to deal with and a lot of wasted time. It's 2 hours every day that's just gone from your life. You're doing nothing. And so imagine if you have self-driving cars or another really, really, productive technology like that, you don't need to spend those 2 hours. You have automatic driving. You can do really productive stuff within those 2 hours. And apart from that, like for example, say you have a disability, in this case, as I mentioned before, Rett syndrome, and you're unable to communicate. We can restore most of that communication ability and allow you to communicate simple intents, like yes, no, not sure, maybe, I want to go to the washroom, I'm hungry, just by reading your brainwaves, electroencephalogram brainwaves, through deep learning algorithms. It's really, really interesting what AI is going to be doing in just the next few years for the next 10 or 20 years.